Hello friends, Laura Whitfield here, your independent Scentsy consultant with Laura's Aroma Retreat. And I have a bit of a different empties video for you guys. But before we dive in here, I figured I should explain my absence. Some of you do know because you've reached out to me, and I really, really truthfully appreciate it. So Wednesday night, my aunt called, and I knew if my aunt was calling me that it was not going to be good news. Okay. And not because my aunt doesn't call me. She absolutely does. But because I knew that my grandmother was back in the hospital for the fourth time in the last 3 months. So when she called, I knew things were bad. And I picked up the phone and I said, if you're calling me, I know it's not good. And she said, no, it's not. I said, I need to go to Florida, don't I? And she told me yes, that I need to go to Florida. So within 3 hours of receiving the phone call, I had a game plan worked out. Now, some of you may know, some of you may not, I don't know. But there was a hurricane rolling in. Another hurricane rolling in. So I wasn't able to book a flight originally. So they weren't sure how bad Nicole was going to be. So like I said, within a few hours, I had mobilized my family here. I'd gotten coverage for the kids. I had kind of charted my path. I had packed my bags, and I was fully prepared to drive through a hurricane to get to Florida. Thursday morning, I got up at 5:30, and I was fully prepared to basically hit the road, but my in-laws were still here, right? Like, they weren't supposed to go home until the next day. They weren't supposed to go home until Friday. And, they checked the weather, and it had dropped down at that point to a tropical storm. So I immediately hopped online and started searching the carriers and found out that they were now booking flights again down into Orlando, which is the airport that I flew in and out of. So I was able to book a flight originally out of Chicago. Mind you, I say originally out of Chicago into Orlando later that morning. About 30 minutes before I was scheduled to leave, I got a text message saying that flight had been canceled. My departing flight had been canceled. And I was able to call the airline, get it re-rigged, and fly out of Indianapolis because I'm in Indiana. So I'm technically closer to Chicago, but Indianapolis is only like an extra 20, 30 minutes from my house versus flying out of Chicago. So it is what it is. But I got down to Florida Thursday night, super late, because they put me on literally the last flight out on, on Southwest that evening out of Indianapolis into Orlando. So I didn't get into like some midnight or something. And my grandparents live about 50 minutes from the airport. So we didn't get into my grandpa's house until like 1 o'clock in the morning. So he did come and get me from the airport. And then the next morning I went up to see my grams. So my grams has been struggling for a really long time. She has congestive heart failure. She had COPD. She had just a whole, just to roll it into all one ball. She has, had severe lung disease for a long time. So the first stint when she started having issues was actually when I was pregnant with Haley. It's how she ended up being Haley Jean, because that's my grandma's name. It was, Jean. And my middle name is Jean. I know a lot of people don't like to put their middle name out there, but I don't care. I'm proud of my middle name and who I'm named after, because, my grams was this amazing woman, right? Just this truly amazing woman. She pioneered a lot of things in her time. Like, she was, one of the women who helped in her town start women's softball, couple of things. I mean, like, she's not, I don't know, she's not famous or anything like that, but, you know, she did a lot of very impactful things in her community over her lifetime, which I'm really proud of her for. So anyways, like, I knew it was bad. I knew it was bad. And really, I knew it was bad last year, right? James and I knew it was bad last year. We figured last year, truthfully, was going to be her last Christmas because, you know, she was struggling to get around. They had to increase her oxygen. She went from, I don't even know her percentages, but from being able to, like, be on a lower percent to having to have a whole, like, apparatus brought into her house with tube that she could run everywhere because she couldn't be off oxygen at all, and continue to be able to breathe. So, like, we knew last year, which is part of why, you know, we went all out. You know, James and I went all out. We had gone down in May to go to Disney. It was our, I was going to say our first real, like, couples trip, but it was really our only real couples trip, right? Like, everything we've always done has been for our kids and with our kids. It was the first time, like, we did something for ourselves. But, you know, we worked in a trip to my grandparents, and, you know, James and I on the way back and, you know, at the hotel room and stuff, we're talking and we're like, it's not going to be long. You know, it's not going to be long. If it's, you know, a year, we're going to be lucky. If it's over a year, we're going to be extremely lucky. Like, we could tell. So when we got back from that trip, you know, that's when we started looking at dates and things like that. And we planned this all out Christmas, right? We rented the RV. We went on a 10-day road trip. And that was the catalyst of getting, like, my entire family down to Florida for Christmas. And my family had not been together, like, all of us together like that for Christmas in over a decade. So, you know, like, we went big for this because, like, I just knew in my gut it was going to be her last one. And what I didn't know was it would be his. And I promised, like, I was doing okay. I was doing okay. And this whole video is not going to be that, I promise. But, you know, it's different. This one was different. And part of it makes me feel guilty because I don't feel it quite as, like, earth-shattering. I mean, believe me, if he had not gone first, this would have been the most profound loss since my dad passed away when I was young. You know, but she was suffering. And she had a fairly good quality of life. She was very sound of mind. But, you know, she was struggling for a long time. She was struggling to walk. She was struggling to breathe. Like, everything was an uphill battle for a long time. So, you know, when I got there, you know, to the hospital with her Friday, she was still lucid. She was coherent. However, she, you know, what was happening was her lungs had filled up with fluid yet again. And this time they couldn't get her dried out. So they had her on what they call a BiPAP machine. So it's this breathing mask that basically was forcing oxygen into her lungs to keep her from drowning. And it was so sad. It really, like, it was really, really hard. So it was, you know, myself, my cousin and my grandpa, we were all there with her, you know, all day Friday. And I got to bring her Boris. And she really loved him. Like, she held on to him the whole time. She really got a kick out of that. It was, you know, probably the last time that I heard her laugh, or, you know, when I pulled Boris out and she was like, oh my God, like, she was so excited to have it and she wouldn't let it go. She did not let it go. She wouldn't, you know, when the nurse would move it, well, we got to move it. She's like, no, give it back. You know, the nurse is like, just 1 minute and we'll give it back. So, you know, it did bring her, you know, comfort and joy in her last 48 hours. But, I got to spend all of Friday with her. And like I said, she was still very much herself. And, she knew who I was. She knew we were talking. But like she kept asking for water, right? Like she was really super thirsty. And with the mask, right, there's that risk of if you give them water, it could have forced the water back into her lungs, and she could have aspirated on that. It could have been really ugly. But they were letting us, with the help of the nurses, obviously, take her mask off so that she could drink. But she would destat or, I learned a lot of terminology in the past few days. They call it destatting when your oxygen level drops down significantly, right? So she would go into critical levels within about 10 to 15 seconds because the minute that mask wasn't blowing into her lungs, the fluid would start to come back up. So by the time Saturday rolled around, her electrolytes were completely off. Her CO2 levels from having to only breathe through the mask and not get a break were completely off because she wasn't able to expend the CO2. And she was starting to become delirious. She was starting to tell us that she couldn't see. She was screaming for water and you would give it to her, but she couldn't taste it and she didn't know that she had water. And basically her doctor came in and told my grandpa that it's just going to continue to get worse, and that he really needed to call in hospice and let them come in and help, and so that she wouldn't be panicking, she wouldn't be in pain. So it was a really hard decision for him to make, but it was the right decision because she didn't deserve to suffer, and there wasn't going to be any quality of life. And every time that they would take the mask off to give her medication or give her water or anything, her levels would drop. And the more times that happens to your body, the more your brain deteriorates. So he did the kindest thing that he could do, and he let her go. So that's where I've been, because my year freaking sucks. It sucks. And my heart could really use a break because I'm not doing so hot, clearly. It's not as hard as losing James. And like I said, that makes me feel so guilty to say that. But he had so much more to be part of, and so many memories to make. And, 2 days, but literally the day before that, he was sanding drywall and doing all kinds of stuff, things he shouldn't have been physically able to do. It was just a mind over matter thing. And I wish that he wasn't, because then maybe we would have known something was wrong and that we could save him. But with my grams, it's no way to live. It's no way to live. And when James went, I'd always told him, no, I want to live till we're 80 and be that old couple like my grandparents, right? And the minute that he went, I would, you don't want to die, and you don't want to hurt yourself, but you don't want to be here either. So it's a really very tough position to be in, right? I don't want to leave my children. I don't, but I don't want to be here either. And that desire to live to be that old couple in the retiree village, and taking care of each other, and I'm never gonna get that. So And watching all of that this weekend, right? Like, I don't want to live till I'm 80. I don't want to be that person who's struggling to get around. And, you know, it's almost worse that, you know, she never lost her mind, right? Like, she didn't have Alzheimer's, none of those things. She was fully mentally cognizant her whole life. So, you know, that's almost like feeling trapped in your own body. Like, your brain still works the way that mine does, but your body can't respond to it. And I just, it's a horrible way to go. You know, but they were married 64 years and 4 days. 64 years and 4 days. And I always wanted that for us. And I've, you know, so many things went through my head, right? Like when he climbed into bed with her to tell her goodbye, and then he had to let her go. I had to love that like that. I did. And I'll never get that chance. So, you know, it's been a crappy few days. It really has. And then, of course, you know, the kids, Haley in particular, my 6-year-old, had a really, really hard time with me being gone. I mean, they both have some serious separation anxiety for obvious reasons. So I guess kind of in a way it was a good thing. Not the actual situation, but her seeing me leave and come back, right? Like, it's a true, honest to goodness fear that she had, especially the first day. She was bawling and crying that mommy was never going to come back again, and she didn't want to lose me too. So for her to see me go somewhere and come back, I hope that helps my kids. I mean, it was not a trip I wanted to make. So, all right, I am 20 minutes into my empties, and I haven't showed you a single darn thing. So, I have my basket. For me, this is pitiful because it's not really overflowing, but it's been chaos. You know, we had Halloween, which came with a whole big host of things, multiple trick-or-treating opportunities, class parties, all kinds of things. And I, be honest, like, I was busy. I was busy. And I was melting the bricks. Okay. I was melting some of the bricks as well. So I obviously am not through them, so we don't put them into this basket. Yeah, honey. Okay. What's wrong with the bathroom upstairs? Okay. And here I thought they were sleeping. And I'm not going to go through that whole spiel again because this is just my life, right? Like, it is 11 o'clock at night when I'm filming at this, truthfully. So anyways, so I was working through the bricks, and I think you guys probably can guess my feelings on the bricks. I'm pretty open and pretty honest, and really, if you are in my community group, Laura's Aroma Retreat on Facebook, you know my feelings, right? So, like, I really like Maraschino Sugar Cookie that went into my club, and I really like Winter's Eve because it's like it's like my hero with this tiny little hint of pine, and it is delightful. I don't mind the caramel chestnut. I'm fine with that one. I don't like icicles and evergreen because it's soap. And I really don't like frosted petals because I'm not a floral girl. And that is so super strong that you can, like, literally taste it in your mouth. Hi. You need to go back to your bed, honey. You got school in the morning. No, I'm filming this. I need you to take yourself this time. No, we're not going to cry like that. You didn't need to come all the way downstairs, honey. This is kind of sort of what I'm talking about. So go on. Go back to bed. You got school in the morning. I'll come up and check on you as soon as I'm done. I will come check on you as soon as I'm done. What? Your thumb is okay. Yes. Go get a Band-Aid if you want. Go get a Band-Aid if you want, but you need to go back to bed. It's a school night. Like I said, completely candid. It's just, it's the way that it is. But that's kind of what I'm talking about too. Like, she doesn't want to be away from me at all. Ever. Period. Like, I have to lay down in their room every single night. She called me multiple times while I was gone each day. We're just kind of working through it as we go. There's no Band-Aids? Okay. Well, go ask Lexi to help you get a Band-Aid, okay? From my bathroom. Go get one from my bathroom. You're not going to come on here. You're not going to come on here and cry. Okay? You don't need to be that way. What'd you do? Okay. You're okay.
No.
Okay, I will get clippers and fix that little piece of skin when I'm done. Okay, go lay on the couch then. Go lay on the couch. And I don't piece my videos together because I don't have that fancy software. She's not going to go without me anyway, so I would have to essentially like scrap this and start over, which I'm not going to do. She'll lay there and be fine. But yeah, she doesn't. I have to sneak out every night. So anywho, untraditional empties. I'm actually going to start with something that's non-Scentsy that came from my good friend Catherine King here on YouTube. And I had unboxed that surprise friend mail with you guys. And there was one in particular, obviously, that I really, really liked. Like, she sent me some really good, like, Scentsy gems. But there was one that I really liked on cold, right out of the gate. And this was the scoopable wax melt in Cranberry Lodge. Okay. And this, I don't think it's a soy wax. It can't be a soy wax because it's super, super soft. Like, you scoop it with a spoon. So it did phenomenal in the warmers. And because clearly it's not a soy, it didn't have that really crispy, like, burnt smell that I get specifically from soy waxes. Like, and I know it's not just me. I know other people get it too. But a lot of us, you know, some people don't, but a lot of us, I tend to find that we do. So I did put this in my kitchen warmer to give it a try because I love the cranberry. I love the woodsy. This was amazing. This was so amazing. I will tell you, this was super, super amazing. And I had people over and they were commenting on it all the time, all day long. They were like, oh my God, whatever you've got going is great. And it really was. I really thoroughly enjoyed this, to the point where I placed my own order. My very first vendor wax order. Okay. Now, don't go crazy. I'm not going to go crazy, right? From a financial standpoint, it still doesn't make a whole bunch of sense to me, right? Okay. I'm not going to get rewards back on this. I am not going to get free product back on this purchase. So it's not going to be a regular thing. Don't start watching me for like vendor wax reviews on a whole, but I enjoyed this enough. I seriously enjoyed this. It's really, really freaking good. To place my own order. Okay. So like I said, I did not go crazy. I got a couple of things and they do offer tarts and all of that stuff too. I was not willing to risk getting any sort of tart to try out, to be honest with you, because again, if it had a soy component in it, it would have been a waste of my money. If it, had a soy component in it, it would have been harder, with a much higher melting point. And I do not have any of the, like the large or the knockoff warmers. Every warmer in my home is Scentsy, so they're all super low melting points, right? Like I can walk up to a Scentsy warmer, stick my whole finger in it and be like, I just peel this wax off, right? They do not get that hot. I mean, don't touch the bulb direct, but they do not get so super hot that the wax will burn you. So, opening this up, it comes with packing peanuts. It does look like these are the soft, she's already back asleep on the couch. I'll just take her up later. Soft biodegradable packing peanuts. I think they're probably, I'm going to tell you, they're probably actually edible, but I'm not going to put these in my mouth. But I do remember learning in like high school biology class or whatever that some of these things are edible. Okay, I got a few things in there. I thought I was getting a big jar. I didn't it didn't tell me what the size on this was. I thought I was getting the same thing. So that's a surprise to me. I got a few jars. I got 4 jars, and it looks like they sent a sample, which is cool. All right. I'm like losing packing peanuts. I don't even remember what I ordered. But I think I spent just like $40 or something like that, like $45. Okay, so the first one I got was Espresso Donut Noel. So it has espresso, vanilla crunch donuts, and vanilla bean Noel. Because I like coffee. I love coffee scents. And she sent me a lot of the coffee scents. But a lot of them are the soy, and I can smell like that burnt smell through the bag. But again, the scoopables, I don't think I like it. Like, maybe it's espresso. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe because it's not like a coffee scent. Maybe because it's, I mean, it is, but it's not. Espresso's got its own kind of flavor thing going on. Or maybe it's the donut part. I don't know. I'll give it a try, but I can't say I'm cold that I'm super keen on this, which makes me kind of sad because I was like, coffee and donuts. That sounds great. I don't know. Something is like very bitter. It's very bitter. Now I'm kind of glad it's a small one. Let's see. The next one that I ordered, because I don't remember, is, warm campfire Noel. All right, let's see. This one is campfire marshmallow, warm vanilla sugar, and vanilla bean Noel. Now this is good. This is actually pretty good. I don't get a smokiness in there. It reminds me of just like Bath and Body Works, just their standard like sugared vanilla or vanilla bean, whatever one that is. This is really good though. Maybe I can mix this one because it's really just kind of like, I don't know, it's just a sweet vanilla. It's nothing fancy, nothing I would rave about. Maybe I can mix these two together in the scoopable, and this is bad. I'm sorry, it's bad. Maybe I can mix these two together. Like give this some more sweetness because this is super bitter. Oh, it's bad. This one's pleasant. I will have to experiment with those. And maybe I'll experiment tomorrow because I'm pretty sure my graham cracker crunch that I got going is dead. This one is good. It's very generic. It is super, super generic. Like I could do really like a Scentsy Simply Vanilla or like vanilla bean buttercream. It has the same similar scent, but vanilla bean buttercream has more of that frosting. This is more like a body care-esque kind of vanilla. So it's okay. I'm really hoping there's one like I get in here that's like bangering like this one, right? Like I sniff this, I warm this, I love this. I'm like, I'm going to try more. Okay. I got Crackling Birch. This is a woodsy outdoor scent. Plain and simple, right? Although it looks white. Like I would have thought it would have come. This is pretty. This is pretty. I don't get a fire note to it. I will say that. I get the birch very clearly, like that really crisp white wood. But I don't really get a smoky note. So, Crackling Birch. This is a woodsy outdoor scent. See, when I think crackling, right? I think fire. I think smoky. I think it's a good wood. but it is just straight wood. Like it's straight birch wood, which doesn't necessarily hurt my feelings because I could maybe mix a little bit of this in with like my Scentsy around the campfire and get that like smoky note that I want. It's really good. And then the last one that I ordered is eggnog frosted cupcake. Okay. I love cupcakes. I love the cupcake smell. Like I really, like if the cake note really comes through, I like it. Like I don't want just the frosting, like cutie pie cupcake, right? I want that cupcake, like I want the vanilla cake note. And I do happen to love a good eggnog. So I'm like, well, we're going into the holidays, we're going into Christmas. Let's give her a go. This is nice. Trying to see if I get a cake note though. I get eggnog. I get frosting. Maybe a hint of the cake. It smells really good. I will give it that. It smells really, really good. It's not off-putting in any way. So I'm pleased with that. I'm pleased with all of them except this espresso donut Noel. Like I don't know that I want to do this one. I'm gonna have to do something with that. Yeah, I gotta do something with that. Cranberry Lodge is good. The favorite of my orders is probably this eggnog frosted cupcake. I like it. I don't think it's gonna be super strong. Like Cranberry Lodge lasted a good solid 2-3 days. I don't think that will last that long. I think it'll be like a 1 day and done for sure. This guy's a powerhouse. This was still available. So this was still available if you want to try Cranberry Lodge. I'll throw a link for you down below to their website. But the other two, this crackling birch, again, it's a good wood. It's a good birch wood, but there's nothing crackling about it. I'm sorry, misleading. And then the warm campfire Noel. Again, there's no smoky note in any of these. Like, why do you have crackling and campfire when there's no smoky? This is literally just body care vanilla. So, kind of disappointing. Their descriptions do not fit the actual scents. And then they included a Jello shot cup of raspberry sugar cookies. So sweet raspberry jelly, or sweet raspberry jelly, royal sugar cookie. I think it's a scoopable. I hope it's not. Is it a tart? I don't know. Okay, it is a scoopable. I can tell because it's soft. Now that's good. I really like raspberry though. Let's see if it works like Scentsy does. This is really good. You definitely get that raspberry. The raspberry note. It smells mostly like raspberry jelly. I don't get like a sugar cookie note, but sugar cookie, like cookie doesn't always come through very well, even in Scentsy, right? Like sugar cookie does, but there are other ones like Hug and a Mug, right? Like I don't get cookie, and cookie's in the description, so that's not the end of the world. This, okay, this right here mixed with this would be divine. This warm campfire Noel with the raspberry, that's a perfect blend. That is a perfect blend. So I'll have fun with this. I mean, clearly I have enough of it. Like I have a whole freaking jar and just one little Jello shot cup of the other one. So these will be fun. I thought it would be fun to play with something else. Just because, like I said, I really like that cranberry one. Got a lot of compliments on that. And these are fun. The only one that I don't like, and honestly, Catherine, maybe I'll just send this one your way instead of, I can't. I know Tim doesn't like coffee scents, so I apologize to Tim. But I do know that you will melt them at work. So I don't know. I'll experiment with it. If I hate it, truthfully, Catherine, if you want it, it's all yours. If not, I will experiment, and if I can't get it right, I'll just throw it away. So this is not going to be something that I do on the regular. Do not get used to seeing vendor wax. I just wanted to, you know, she gave me the opportunity to branch out and try something new, and I enjoyed it, and I figured, what the heck. So, but again, like, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for me because I get most of my product for free. So to spend, you know, the money that I need to take care of my kids and keep my house afloat and stuff just doesn't make much financial sense for me, even when it does perform bangarang. I will say this, though. I would probably pick up another 2 or 3 of these ones because it's got the smoky, it's got the cranberry, it's got the woodsy. Like, this is the perfect blend. It is absolutely perfect. Reminds me a little bit of the cranberry garland without the pine note. Throw a little bit of pine into that. I'm down. Okay, so let's dive into my extremely pathetic basket, considering how long it's been since I did this the last time. Because this is sad, but I'm chalking it up to melting the bricks, because I have warmed through almost an entire brick of maraschino sugar cookie. Not lying. It's that good. I bought 2 more. Like, I love it. So, and I did consider doing an unboxing tonight, right? Like, I got a shipment in, an order in Wednesday afternoon, and by Wednesday evening, or I would have filmed it, everything kind of just torpedoed. So I was gonna do that, and I'm like, no, I just, like, my community group knows, right? Like, I let them know where I'm at, what I'm doing. Like, it's easy, because I don't have to record anything and upload it and do all of that jazz. So if you ever want to keep up with me, I'll throw a link for my community group down below too. Or send me a friend request on Facebook. It's Laura Whitfield. You'll recognize my face. You'll see my husband. You can keep up with me that way too. But without further ado, let's dive into the basket. So I did finish off a system in Fluffy Fleece. And we call it a laundry system, right? Because our laundry love bundle comes with your laundry liquid, a tub of washer whiffs, like the large tub, and then 2 sets of dryer discs. And then I do purchase the Scent Soft on the side. But I did finish out the whole bundle, not just a tub of washer whiffs, the whole bundle. And I've already ordered more. I think we established the last couple of times, like, I am Fluffy Fleece obsessed. And I've already ordered more, right? So I'm using Jammy Time. I had a bit of I had reward credits to redeem before Fluffy Fleece released. And I had gotten a couple of, like, fabric softeners and whatnot. So yeah, so I'll go through Jammy Time. I will go through Jammy Time. Jammy Time is my second favorite by far. But if guys, I can't tell you, like, my whole suitcase smells like Fluffy Fleece for my clothes. I am obsessed. I am straight obsessed. This is the best dang laundry scent. You can stake me on it that they've ever come out with. And Monday. Okay. I know 2 things that we are getting on Monday. We are getting a laundry bundle of some type in cranberry tinsel, which, you know, your girl has to try. Hello, it's cranberry. Hello, it's Scentsy laundry. Like, I'm going to have to try it. I do have to try it. I don't think it's going to kick Fluffy Fleece's butt, but I need to try it. And we are getting a body bundle in Scarlet Sunflower. And I'm actually, like, I'm super excited for that. Like, I love Scarlet Sunflower, right? The way that it smells on cold is incredible. It's just not strong enough for me because, you know me. I need it to be a powerhouse. I want it to kick me in the teeth. Like, I need to know my scents are there. Except Frosted Petals, right? I could deal with less of that. That didn't just kick me in the teeth. It took over my entire mouth and all my taste buds for like 3 days after warming that. I won't do it again. I'm like, I made samples and gave them away like crazy. I'm like, I went through an entire brick to just get it out of my house. Just go. Anybody who loves floral, it's for you. And then I had 3 brick cubes left and I sent it with my mom. So I probably won't get the clamshell back, but know that Frosted Petals is no longer at my house and it never will be again, because it is the most, it like bonded itself to my taste buds. And I was like, I can't. I know I have some other non-wax stuff in here. Finished out a bottle of Make a Splash Counter Clean. In all of the time, obviously, that my brain has been fried over the last few months. I have had many of my family members come in. Whether I had to cry uncle and ask for help, which I did have to do. I did have to call my mom and ask her to come help me, because like it was my in-laws were coming back. The downstairs bedroom, I want to say my teenager, but she's technically not a teenager anymore, had basically used her bedroom as a storage room and had moved into the downstairs bedroom. And I'm like, no, this is not how this works. This is not, it's not how it works. So I'd been asking for her to please get it under control. And long story, not going to get into it here. It's just not worth it. It's not worth it. So I had to cry uncle and be like, Mom, I cannot keep up with the kids. I cannot keep up with, the school shuffle. I cannot keep up with getting the rest of the house done and then try to sort out her explosion into 2 rooms of my house. I just couldn't do it. So I did have to call in help. But there have been various family members who have come over and they all want to help in some way, which I'm not complaining, right? I'm not complaining. I look around my house and I feel like I am drowning every day. There used to be 2 of us and we used to knock things out together. I mean, I did the majority of the general housekeeping and things just because he worked so much and I'm home, right? Like no problem doing that. But, my house is still not finished. My in-laws did come and run the last of the electrical. That's what they were here for, running the last of the electrical. So we can finally close up the front room wall and finish out this room, but sorry, I should have made a cup of coffee before I sat down. But I look around at everything and I'm like, I'm drowning. It's fine. I'm like Kilroying it over here, but it is what it is until everything gets put back together. Like I just can't do it all. And, again, there used to be 2 of us. So like something needed to get done. I'd be like, go outside with Daddy. Go, goodbye. Go play outside, because he'd be working on something in the garage, or, he'd get home from work and see me folding a lot of laundry and he'd help me put it away, right? Like it just took half the time to do anything because he was always pitching in, always helping in some way, whether it was physically doing it himself or just keeping the dang kids distracted long enough for me to get it done. So anyways, I have several open bottles of Counter Clean because they keep traveling with each new person. And then I'm like, where I had that? Like, I was looking for this. I'm like, I had Make a Splash open. Where did it go? And I found it with like this much in it, stuffed in a cabinet that I don't even put cleaners in. And I'm like, wasn't me. Like, clearly the cabinet with the cleaners is the cabinet for the cleaners, but I'm not going to complain, right? I'm not going to complain. It is what it is. You will see a variety of counter cleans coming your way at some point as I find them all, because I've got Make a Splash. I opened Autumn Road Trip when I couldn't find this one. I came home after being gone for 5 days and there's a Squeeze the Day that's open. I'm like, I didn't even know I had Squeeze the Day. And Counter Clean still like, she must have found it in one of my buckets and decided she was going to open that one. Like, I don't know. I give up. I really like Squeeze the Day in our Counter Clean product. I like it in the Counter Clean. I like it in the bath. Like the body line. It's just like it is on cold, where that milling note is not super, super forward. I would get this again for sure. This would be a repurchase. I went through a bag of cotton. Oh, God bless it. Cotton balls. Sorry, because I got home late the other night. Like today again was chaos. I needed to go to the grocery store. I shop at Meijer's, right? Because one, in my town, there's 2 gas stations and a Family Dollar. So you're not getting much out here. So I got to drive 25 minutes in one direction or 25 minutes in the other direction. Either which way, it's a drive. So I like to go to Meijer's because then it's a one-stop shop, right? I get my groceries. They're cheaper than the other grocery store because it's the only grocery store in town. They can charge whatever the heck that they want. So there's a little more competition back there. Meijer's has all the coupons. I meant to put cotton balls on my list, but I would have to actually make a list to put it on my list, and I forgot. So, bag of cotton balls. Scentsy gave us a little teaser. It was not this month then, but it was the one prior, about we might be getting cotton cleanups that fit our minis. And that would be amazing. Like, I know cotton balls are cheap. Okay, I get it. I know that these are cheap. They're like $3 a bag or whatever. These ones are from Target. So they might be $2 a bag from Target. They are cheap. I understand that. But I hate cleaning out my mini warmers. I just do. Because then I have to pinch the cotton balls. So I have 2 choices. 2 cotton balls will suck up all the wax. It will get on my fingers every single stinking time. Every time I got to take the cotton balls out. Or I put 3 in there and I'm extra wasteful. I would rather just have a cotton cleanup that sucks up to 6 cubes of wax in like a little cotton cleanup tower thing. Or even 3 if they're minis, right? If they're minis, I'll take 3 cubes. I will take 3 cubes to not have to dip my fingers and peel off wax 3 times in a row. I don't care. So if I'm remembering correctly, I think Lacey was the one who messed up and gave us a teeny little teaser that it was at some point forthcoming. I don't know what that point is. I would like it to be now. But I guess we'll see. Okay. I think 2 more non-waxes. We've already talked about the brick, so we touched on wax. We have pods of baked apple pie. I did put these. This one actually, the clamshell smells even with the pods, because I was about to do my classic. I don't even know why I'm sniffing this, right? This one does smell. It smells like cinnamon. Like, cinnamon is super, super strong, and it leaches into everything, including the pod packs. But I did go ahead and put this guy into my laundry room because it's off the kitchen and I do bakery, and I was just like, why not? I have them, I might as well use them, right? And then I have pods in lavender cotton actually going in our like foyer hallway type thing to the front door that we never use, truthfully, because with the puppy, I had to shift the litter box, right? I had to shift it upstairs. Or one of them. So downstairs I have the litter house, which, you know, James built me, so it's an enclosure for it. And then I have the secondary litter box. It's just a regular standard open one. Yeah, should have done coffee. But I had to move it up. So there's actually like And because lavender cotton's so strong, like there's a wall fan diffuser right above it. And then there's one in that hallway. So like we have a landing upstairs for when you go up there. There's a landing there. So it's on the landing so that Puppykins doesn't dig out all the litter on my floor anymore. But I split lavender cotton between upstairs and downstairs. So it's kind of like sandwiching litter box in there because it's not somewhere that I can put a warmer. All right, let's dig into wax. Let's see. I already told you. I got graham cracker crunch going today. I came home. I had to do all of my warmers. So I have a 5-bar limit. I set it for myself. I could technically go through like 6, but I have a 5-bar limit. I will not go over 5. Like, the front room is really where I run into the thing because like I have the hutch and the display in here, and now my office is in here, so my office warmers are in here. Like, I have more warmers in this room than a full bar of wax. Okay, I just do. And it's about to be the same deal in the big room because I did get my hutch. It's not fully set up yet. There's nothing on it. I still haven't drilled my warmer holes out the back, my cord holes. So we've got the circular cutter thing that goes on the drill, and it just and zips it right out for me. So I haven't done that part yet. And then, like I said, my in-laws finished this part of the electrical, but they're going to give me an outlet on this, technically this line of wall. Okay, because our big room was an addition. Well, I have outlets on this side, but not on the other side in the other room. And I'm like, it's not going to work. So they're just going to kind of punch through and piggyback off of that. But it's not my area of expertise, and I will not be creating my own outlets in my house. They're coming back next week for Thanksgiving anyhow. So we'll just do it then. And then I'll get that all set up. And I will have more warmers in that room than I need for bar of wax. So anyways, graham cracker crunch went into the kitchen. My mom did put it in while she was gone, and I know because she hit the button on my OCDs. She left the ones that she'd used on my desk, partial cubes. I was like, we don't do that here. Like, there's enough warmers. Just use the bar. Use the bar. Please don't leave me a partial bar. It drives me crazy because I have enough warmers going. Like, I know I need the full bar to get the full effect. So I only cleaned out my big warmers in the kitchen today. Because I'm guessing that's what she did too, right? 1, 2, 3 was missing. I'm guessing she cleaned out the bigs and didn't clean the minis. I used the rest of the bar. Clean the bigs in the kitchen. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, I don't even want to sniff this. Pumpkin chai. Not my jam. This was a partial bar, I will tell you, that has been sitting in my drawer. I made samples with it because I can't just only sample things that I like, right? Like, not everybody has the same scent preferences as me. But I hate this bar. Like, I would never purchase this for me. It is, it's strong spice. Extremely strong spice. If you like that fall spice, pumpkin chai is your best bud. But for me, it sets my nostrils on fire. I can't. I did do a bar of Dumbo. Okay, this was much needed. Extremely much needed. I put it in after making pumpkin chai samples because, like, I needed my house not to smell that way. I needed something fresh. I needed something clean. I needed something bright and not suffocating. So, Dumbo all day long, all freaking day long. I love Dumbo. It's this beautiful citrus vanilla medley. It cleared the air perfectly and quickly. I am doing snow-kissed cranberry in the front room today. And this is this came in that Christmas 10-bar bundle from the flash sale, right? Like, I know that I have more of it. It's upstairs. I have a secret stash of a few bars of it. I believe Catherine sent me a few bars of it. You can see, like, I told you, I'm drowning, you guys. I haven't even moved the box from the chair. It's there and it's stacking. And I got to get my Heineken in gear because I have people coming next week for Thanksgiving because I'm insane. And I decided that I wanted to honor everything that we did and our vision and invite literally everybody here for Thanksgiving. So not on Thanksgiving. It's the Saturday after, but my house is nowhere near ready. So here we go. Constant chaos. But anyways, this one was sitting on my table because I had just unboxed all of that with you guys. No, it was in my bucket. I'm sorry. But it was already in my bucket because I had unboxed this with you guys in that flash sale haul. I figured, what the heck? I shall enjoy it today. I was going to be home. I knew I was going to be home. I'm doing a bar of Fiji flower in my master bedroom right now. This is the one floral that I am like gaga for. And I think no, I don't think. I know it's mostly because I get apple. So yes, you do get that like tropical floral note, and it's specifically like tropical floral, not powdery floral, tropical floral. And this really good apple. Like it's a combination that word-wise makes zero sense that I will never live without. And I have it in my quarterly club, and you don't see it a whole lot because people tend to attach themselves to it when they come over and sniff through my buckets. And I'm like, I can get more. I can get more. And then more comes and it walks right out my door and I don't ever get to enjoy it myself. So I put that in my master today. Again, I needed a good medley throughout the house, something that it's uplifting in my book. Because Scentsy does make me happy. I mean, I really, like, I don't know where I would be right now if I didn't have this in my life, truthfully. Like, I love my kids, right? I love my kids and I live and breathe for my kids. But it's given me the ability. I don't know how the best way to describe it. Like, this is the community that comes from being with Scentsy, right? Has been mind-blowing. It's been mind-blowing. It's helped keep me from falling down a dark rabbit hole and not being able to get back out again, because it gives me drive. It gives me purpose. It gives me joy in a way that just being a mom can't, because, you know, like, you expect your kids to need you. You expect to get up for your kids every day. You expect to take care of their needs. And I don't regret motherhood at all, so this is going to sound really bad, but, you know, it takes away from feeling like you do something for yourself. Like, being a parent, being a mom, you know, and not just a mom, but a parent, you know, is very, like, you sacrifice everything that you have. You sacrifice your time, you sacrifice your body, you sacrifice your money, you sacrifice yourself, your soul, like, everything goes into your children. And being in the position that I am in, and probably not just my position. I mean, Jesus, I felt that way a little bit even before that, right? Like, they suck everything out of you. They really do. And I mean, it's supposed to be that way. But, like, it gives me something for me, like a drive for me. feeds my soul in a way that is about just me, if that makes sense. And maybe it doesn't. Maybe I'm not being clear. Maybe you're like, oh my God, this lady is flipping nuts. I am, by the way, just in case you're curious. But if you do feel that in any way, shape, or form, like, not that motherhood isn't enough, but we're people too. It isn't enough. You need something else. It can't just be dishes and laundry and butt wiping and all of that all the time, right? And, now you throw in my particular scenario, trying to handle grief. And I hate that word, by the way. It just I hate the word grief. Because I feel like it just tries to tie everything up in this neat little pretty package. And it's just not, right? It is this giant sea monster that's always lurking beneath the surface. And you never know when it's going to eat you whole. And if you're going to be able to get away from it, again, when it does latch onto your legs and start to pull you down, but I'm not navigating just my own grief, right? I'm navigating mine and my children's, all 5 of them, and, his parents and sisters and brothers, and I know that they're in my grief groups that a lot of people are like, you have to worry about just you. You got to make sure that you make it day by day. But that sounds well and good in theory, right? But that's not reality. Our lives are intertwined with the people around us. Our lives are intertwined with more than just ourselves. So it's really easy to lose your sense of self. And Scentsy gives me that. It's my one thing that's really just mine. I mean, it was mine and James's, but it was really just mine. It's just mine. And yes, I am, and I'll throw the income disclosure statement down below, right? I went hard these last few months, and I'm not gonna, I'm full steam ahead, right? I hit director, and I don't shout myself out. I'm never, I don't tell you guys when I'm reaching for a goal, right? And I don't shout myself out when I'm when I hit it. It's just part of the deal. I have to have something to chase. I have to give myself a goal because it's just built into who I am. So, but Scentsy has allowed me over these last few months to pay my mortgage and get groceries. And, I talked to Social Security today, they still can't give me a figure, right? That's a whole long story because, they're slow. Don't count on them to rescue your butt anytime soon because that ain't going to happen. But unfortunately, very smart with being frugal and how to move things around, right? How to move pieces on the chessboard. But, if it wasn't for this, I'd be hurting, right? If I didn't already have Scentsy and I didn't work harder at Scentsy, I would be hurting. And I've heard people, I've heard people, our teams are large and big sometimes, where they're like, oh my God, well, my life got hard. I'm going through this or I'm going through that. And, far be it from me to judge, but my life crashed around me, and I use that to fuel me to take care of my kids. I'm not an excuse maker, right? I have children that I have to take care of, and I refuse. I absolutely 100% friggin' refuse to have them lose their dad and then turn around and lose their mom to 60 hours a week job. I won't do it. So I'm much more content being at home with my kids and doing something that I love and that I'm passionate about. So I will be gifting kits galore. I have 3 if anybody wants to jump on board, by the way, because I get the impression that we will be having another sale around the corner. not for Black Friday. Okay. Scentsy believes very, very heavily in family, and they will not do anything, starting Thanksgiving and that whole weekend. Like they want consultants and their employees to be with family. They give everybody that time off. Like, we're an extremely family-centered company, okay? So, anywho. So anyways, I've got gift kits. Anybody wants to join before you place a darn large order, I will be glad to gift you one. And I hit the incentive. I hit the trip. I have a choice. I'm having a hard time with it. So I can choose. I mean, really, we've got 4 choices, but for me, the personal choice is between a Caribbean cruise, Cabo, Mexico, or everything for Scentsy family reunion being paid for in full. My flight, my hotel room, my ticket, like everything. I'm feeling like I'm going to take the vacation because I could use it. Truth. But I'm struggling with leaving them, clearly. This week was an accidental trial run on that, and I mean, all things considered, it went well, right? Like the first few days they were crying a lot, and then it kind of ebbed away. But of course, now they're leached to my body again, which is going to take some time to pry them off. But if that's the worst of it, I can live with it. So we'll see. Finished out a bar of maple vanilla glaze. I don't really like it. I gotta be honest. This is part of the holiday 3-bar collection. I don't really like it. It's too similar to it's got some sort of boozy note. And it's really strong, and it's really thick, and it's really overpowering, and it took over everything from my kitchen with minimal cubes because I made samples first. There's something boozy in here. I don't know what it is, but I smell booze, and I don't like it. I don't like it unless it smells like a daiquiri. I'm not interested. We have a bar of Best in Snow going in the girls' room right now. So obviously, when I'm not home, my wax doesn't get changed. The girls' wax doesn't get changed. It is what it is. My mom did one. Like, okay, whatever. You could change it every day. I don't care. I got enough wax. But she didn't. So Elena today, she doesn't have preschool on Wednesdays and Fridays, was home with me, and she's like, Mommy, can we change my wax, please? And I'm like Mom's home now, and my kids are like, yay, my room's gonna smell good again. I get fresh wax. Like, she literally asked me to please help her change her wax today. I was like, girl, I got you. Don't worry, Mama's home. So she ended up choosing Best in Snow. It is a really light mint. It came in that 10-bar bundle. It does well in their room, but it never did it well anywhere else in my house. So like, I'm not attached to it. I wasn't sad when I saw it, when it went. It's just a light mint, very light. So light, in fact, that I was nose blind after laying on their floor for 5-10 minutes. Okay, bar of First Day of Fall. This is beautiful. I love First Day of Fall. It is the perfect introduction to fall weather, to that, like those perfect fall spices that are just like, it's not aggressive spice in any way, shape, or form. It's like this very perfect light medley of these fall spices. There's just something about it. It's so good. It is 100% fall. And it's divine. I might throw this into quarterly just in case at the end of the season, because it will retire, right? It will retire for the season for sure. But after seeing what they did to Jammy Time and Squeeze the Day and sun-kissed citrus and sea salt and avocado. I'm not, like, I don't melt it all the time, but I don't know that I could actually live entirely without first day of fall forever. So one bar might go into quarterly just to be safe. I don't trust them. I don't trust them. And they really yanked the rug out of my trust this time around. Like, jammy time? Squeeze the day? Like, I've already been through them. Like, those are Scentsy staples. This is a Scentsy staple. I don't trust them. No scent is safe. And I know this. I learned that lesson the hard way. Oh, I don't think this was me. Bar of Stitch Experiment 626. That's the other thing. That's the other thing. Pretty sure this was Becca's. She was finally like in between softball, right? Because technically my stepdaughter, but my daughter is very, very big into softball. And she plays spring and she plays summer travel ball, and then she plays fall. And this year, crazy kid, she picked up a winter team at the local indoor sports complex. I'm like, you're insane. But I really think she's probably doing something similar to what I'm doing. Let's just keep her busy, you know, find something that you love and hang on to that until, I don't want to say get to the other side. There's no other side. There's no other side. Hang on to that until you're, what is the right way to say that? Maybe stable? Maybe self-stabilizing? That might be the best way to describe it. Hang on to something until you can regulate your own dang self. Because, like I said, that sea monster is still just swimming below the surface and nipping at our toes. And sometimes he drags us down and it's hard to get back up again. So we stay busy. But I'm pretty sure this came out of Rebecca's room. Stitch is her favorite bar. I love Stitch. This is this really nice, like, coconut. It's a tropical coconut with this Hawaiian lei flower. But it's not, it doesn't smell floral. It just smells like sweet coconut with a twist. We have a bar of swirling snowflakes. So I did make samples with the first 2 cubes and then warmed the rest of this to review with you guys. It's a disappointment. It was a complete disappointment. On cold, this smells great. In the travel twist, this smells bangarang. Like, that travel twist is so strong, it'll knock your socks off. This smells strong on cold. And then I got into my warmers and I couldn't smell a blasted thing. This was a total dud. It smells great here. Maybe it's the room that I put it in, but you know me, if I can't put it into my big spaces, and I want it in my big spaces, I can't keep it. It has to go. So, swirling snowflakes and literally everything else, just not in wax. Oh, we got a couple bars hanging down at the bottom here. Okay. Wild for fall, folks. I don't waste wax, but I didn't worm it either. I made a ton of samples of the bricks for Halloween. Okay. I made a ton of samples and I passed them out trick-or-treating. Now, originally the game plan, right? Because we go to my sister's house and she's got a lot of people there. When I made these samples, my original plan was to have her hand them out with candy. And then she came down sick the day of Halloween, came home with 102-degree fever. And we were like, you're quarantined. Goodbye. and my daughter, Lex, my older daughter, ended up passing out candy. And I did like one Elena only made it a block. And then she was like, no, I'm cold. I'm done. And I'm like, it's not even that cold. She's like, I'm done. Just want to eat my candy. I'm like, okay, fine. It didn't bother me. That was like our third trick-or-treat event at that point. So anywho, I did the block and I came back and I'm like, oh, you remember to hand out my samples? She's like, you made samples? And I'm like, oh, you were in the kitchen helping me. You put the trick-or-treat stickers on them. Yeah, Mom brought the samples. Supposed to pass them out. So I took that out of her hands. I threw in some Wild for Fall though, in with those trick-or-treat samples. And instead, I gave every house that we trick-or-treated a treat. And then every single stinking mom that I passed, hi, happy Halloween. Hi, happy Halloween. Hi, happy Halloween. So I didn't waste my wax, but I didn't warm this either. So that one cube, that was enough. It's Wassail Wonderland. It just is. It's Wassail Wonderland to me. And I know them's probably fighting words, and I am sorry, but that's what I get out of it with just a smidge less cinnamon. Not my gig. Let's talk about the buttercream collection, you guys. Okay, now it's technically called the Scentspirations collection, and to find it easy peasy, we actually have to type in vanilla bean, and I'm like, Scentsy, could you get a little more confusing for us consultants here on the back end? Because I'm typing in Scentspirations and getting nothing, and then I'm typing in buttercream, and I'm like, come on, it's the buttercream collection, and it was bringing me other things. So this collection, hands down, best freaking bundle that Scentsy has come up with since I've been a consultant. The only one that came close was that All Is Well collection. This guy, however, sold out the gift box in under 23 minutes. It was nuts. Within an hour, this candy cane buttercream, and I'm telling you, club. I put 4 bars in there because I don't want to wait. I always place my pre-orders first and leave myself for last. By the time I got back to place my order, candy cane buttercream and caramel buttercream were sold out. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Fine, whatever. I can put it in club. I'm good with it. Now I have heard chatter that Scentsy is going to pour additional bars. But remember, club members get priority on everything. Everything. So if they're planning to pour, let's just say 1,000 more bars, and they have 1,000 bars in club is going to get priority. So right now, a release date is to be determined about whether or not they're going to officially re-release it to the public or not. Because club is your best friend. Just telling you. This is divine. It is divine. And I have mixed perfect peppermint with vanilla bean buttercream. I have. There is something about them mixing the oils together in this that it was so good. It is a one day and done. This one is a one day and done. I will give you that. And I still have some candy cane buttercream. I still have gingerbread buttercream. I haven't had a chance to warm mine from my consultant kit. I mean, I could have had a chance, honestly, but I've been slacking. I've been slacking on changing my wax. I've been slacking on being home. I've been slacking on not losing my mind and remembering to do things. But this for sure went in. Gingerbread buttercream, I think I can take it or leave it. I'm not a big gingerbread fan. But this and the caramel, hands down, club worthy. Staying there, staying there, staying there. And if you want to guarantee that you're going to get your hands on this, you need a club, which I will also link for you down below. And then I'm going to have to like go back and like fast forward and be like, what? One of these days, like I will get a pen and a notebook and be like, okay, I said I was going to link this. I said I was going to link this. I said I was going to link this. Like if I say I'm going to link something and it's not down there because I've forgotten by the time I do this tomorrow morning and actually upload it to YouTube, please leave a comment below and make me fix myself. I would appreciate you. All right. Also going is Sweet Orange and Evercream. Now this This is up my alley. This is a really, really, really nicely done pine. It is an authentic pine. And you got that tiny hint of citrus in the background. It's not like glaringly like orange. This is perfectly done. Perfectly done. I just can't, that's the best way I can describe it. It is the perfect pine. It is very, very good. And like, I like very snowy spruce. Like, that's my second favorite, but it does have that artificial twinge to it. This, very authentic pine. I'm very pleased with this. This, honestly, would probably go into my club. And last, now that we were an hour and 20 minutes in, and it was less wax reviews tonight, or less reviews tonight, than it was personal, I want to say stories, right? It's not a story, just purge, mind purge, heart purge, soul purge. And if you're still hanging with me at this point, I love you. Thank you for bearing with me. I appreciate you. And I don't know, it's just a purge of everything. All right. I finally finished. my last brick of fluffy fleece. I'd been hoarding it for quite a while. I had 3 cubes left. I'd been hoarding it, and I'm like, I could get it in catalog. Okay, I've got to go to bed. It's in the catalog. It is in laundry. Like, Laura, please, just stop yourself. You do not need those 3 cubes. Just melt it already. Make space. You got all them dang bricks from the holiday collection. Now you ordered 2 more maraschino sugar cookies. Cut yourself some slack. You can get this guy in a bar. So here we are. Beautiful. Wonderful. Fluffy, cuddly, cozy, snuggly laundry. I love it. Love it. Best laundry scent ever. So, folks, that is... I'm on my third, in case you're curious, I'm on my third phone stand. Third ring light. Because Haley broke another one a couple weeks ago. So anywho, I did figure out like how to get this one to work, because I was like, it's too tall. Like I figured it out. But that means I got a remote back. Which is kind of cool, which means that I, will get to click the button here after I say what I always say, which is I will catch you guys all later. Bye-bye.